Hello, Eric here, and welcome to another review. Ooh, got a very rickety setup here, low budget, low production quality, so very rickety. Today, that's the end. I'm gonna be reviewing The Minority Report by Philip K. Dick, and I I knew. Well, let's see. I picked this book out mainly because man, it's hard not to get a glare on here. Mainly because of just I don't even know why I looked at it to begin with. Why I pulled it off the shelf at I think half price books where I get like all my stuff. But what really caught my attention and mainly why I bought it is the way that you read it. So it's read, it's not read like a normal a normal book is, and it's the people. Some people may know this, but being like I'm not a huge I'm not a huge reader, and so I've never seen a book like this. But it's read like gosh, it's clear. It's read from top down. Let's see if I can get a good if I can find a chapter. Yeah, here you go. Yeah, so I mean, you can't. It's hard to see, but then there's the end of a chapter and there's the beginning of a chapter right there, and it's really top down. It's kind of makes it interesting. Like it's such a weird, like I don't know why it's done like this, why it made it so different. Maybe like a report. I'm just stretching. I have no idea. It's a pure guess here, but maybe like you're reading a report, flipping through. Yeah, maybe like something like that is kind of the only thing I could really imagine when I was reading the book. And then, after I think I've had the book. I mean, it's been on my shelf for it's been on there for a while, maybe a year or whatever. I was in a stretch where I would just buy books and not read them. So I mean, to some people's standards, I got a low amount of books to read. I probably got maybe 30 on there, but for me, for someone who doesn't read a whole lot, I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of books that were unread. But so I've just kind of been pulling stuff off and trying to get through it here. And this was one of them. I didn't realize that it was, funny enough, another Philip K. Dick book. Um, so that's interesting. Once I looked at the cover, that I don't know how to do the linking videos. I wish I did, but maybe I'll find out after I make this one. That would be cool. So you know, let's go feature Eric here. But the Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep was another book I just read by Philip K. Dick, and all I had the only thing I knew about that one was the movie, and I kind of went into this one after knowing that there was a movie. I've seen the movie probably about 10, 15 years ago with Tom Cruise, and that's the only part I really remember. And something about them pulling an eye out of somebody's socket. For whatever reason, I remember an eye scene in the movie, and I think I have the movie. I've just not watched it. And um, but like the other androids, I did a review on that, and I prefer just the aesthetics. I love the movie more than the book. This one, I kind of feel like could go the same way, but I like this book more than the book version of Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. So I enjoyed. I had this the enjoyment level on this one was was above the other book. I enjoyed reading this book, especially how short it was. Well, another thing, I'm slowly picking stuff up here. I found out that this is a novelette, which is interesting. I had to Google possibly how many words were in here, but a novelette is something with like 15,000 words. A novella is 17,000 to 40,000, and above, I guess, is a novel. And then I don't know at what point in time it just becomes like a nov. I guess it never really does. I guess it just stops there. But a novelette. This was, I think, 15,000, I think, or close to it, something like that. And it's right at like 100 pages. And just the way that the way that it's set up, it just, I think you can, I read it like, well, I did it like maybe a couple hours, 3, 4 hours, I'm not the fastest reader. I don't know how many words a minute. I don't even pay attention to that stuff. But I felt like next thing I know, it was over. I took notes those are really helping me like retain the book long enough to make these videos, and then of course I'll forget. So we'll start. I wish I had a better I'm using my laptop camera, so I wish I had a better. Oh wait, of course you got. But look at the like. Can you like? That's what I had to work with. I think. Oh, and then there's a backside too. I mean, trying to. But that's. I think my handwriting is getting worse. It's getting hard for me to read, which is which is sad. Okay, so I will. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read from these notes. I can't remember everything I wrote down, but I did rewrite some of the notes because I knew they were just gonna be unbelievably hard to read. So it's okay. So the premise of the book, or I guess the setting of the book, takes place. Oh gosh, somewhere in the future. I think after a war. There's really it's kind of decrepit a little bit, kind of like maybe cyberpunk. This is a science fiction crime drama. I would I would say drama. Yeah, I'd probably put it in the at least anyway science fiction crime drama. It takes place. I don't know how far into the future, but like I said, there's a war. I believe that happened. I think I remember reading that happened, and just like the decrepitness, like a cyberpunk, you know, or yeah, high rises that are all just kind of decrepit is the gist that I got of this place. And then from a little bit whatever I remember of the movie, that seemed to be the case. But so it starts off with this, and this I forgot this dude's name. Um, Ed, I think was his name. Well, points for you, Eric. Ed is his name. You got it right. John. So you meet two characters in the beginning. The commissioner of this police station, John Anderton, or Anderton, and that name is is I made a point to mark it down because that name just does not ease off of the tongue. It just does not come off the tongue very easily. Like it needs to be Anderson. Like Anderton is such a you almost have to like try to pronounce that or try to make sure you get it right. It's just a weird that was a weird that was a weird character name. Uh I want to say it won't be forgotten, but I know that's not the case. So the this so this John. Okay, so I'm getting kind of sidetracked here. The setting, like I've said before, post war, decrepit, all that stuff. It takes place in a precinct, and then kind of on the outside, a little bit around the town. Um, it starts by the meeting of this police commissioner is meeting his assistant for the first time, and the commissioner John is very insecure about his job, like job scared, thinking he's going to get replaced. So then steps in, Ed is here. He's going to kind of be his assistant and is fully aware that he's going to be his assistant. And the commissioner, the police station is over pre pre crime, a thing that's in the future where they can detect crime before it happens. And I don't know if you know nothing about this book or movie, the the premise. I mean, that's a pretty wild premise. I have to. I mean, it is pretty wild. It really. I mean, it really just makes you think, like all the ramifications of pre-crime of that system and the butterfly effect. I mean, how that works truly is mind-boggling. It's very it's it's well, I'll get into that later, but it's just wild anyway, to say the least. So that's the setting of it. Hopefully, did that justice. The plot, and this is where I'm going to get into spoil territory. I mean, this is the very beginning of the plot, but it was still no, yeah, spoilers. Like from here on out, spoilers. Because I was utterly for what I was so surprised at how where this went in the beginning, and not long after you meet these two people, he goes to show you the whole pre-crime, premise, like the whole how it works, and you got these three machines, these three. I mean, it's so wild that he called them like imbeciles. They're uh, I don't. I would try to find what date this is written, but I have no. There's no. This is all like alien language here. Um, they're like just uh, mentally retarded, like just handicap. Just void of worse than that, like void of thinking. They have they were at one time humans, these people, and they were at one time humans, and then like cognitively they cannot function in the world, but they can detect the future. So you got and I mean they really hammer the point, like they call them monkeys. They really hammer the point home that these people are just dumb, stupid, like it's all in there, and like it's just like really, I all the words I used are in the book, and you got these people who are incapable of thinking, who are you got the dumbest people in the world apparently, who are predicting the future with like the strongest power, and that whole juxtaposition, like that whole, or I guess that's not the right term, but that whole comparison is just, I think it's just wild. Like you got the lowest of the low, way low end of the low spectrum, with the highest foresight known to man, and that whole thing. I thought that was a very cool, that cool character creation. I guess I don't know what I don't really know. That's another thing. I read these books to help me with my addictions. or I'm slowly getting there. I'm still, pick up. I pick up a few there. I try to Google some words, but I don't Google them all. To, help me out here. Let's see. Even if the whole idea of pre-crime is pretty interesting. Like I kind of went over that, but just being innocent until you find out. Well, in our case, in the beginning, once the plot rolls around, we find out. But just like pre-crime in general, they don't they don't know that they're about to commit this crime. They have no idea. Like it's a week or 2 weeks in advance. So I mean, it'd be like you sitting here watching this video and me sitting here making it, and a week from now or 2 weeks from now we rob a bank or we someone does murder. Like I never intended it, but here they are. The cops are coming to my door saying I'm going to. Like what? Like like, are you kidding me? Like, what the heck? What kind of totalitarian? Like, what? I can't. Like, that is like what? I can't. I don't even know what the right word is for that. But what? Like, I keep thinking the totalitarianism, but like, what the? Like, just the control there. Like, oh, geez. Like, it's just an unwild. Um, I added a note here because I think it was later on it is mentioned, but once they catch you in pre-crime, they'll send you to prison or the yard or something. And if I'm not mistaken, they only do it for you're only in prison for the time until the crime passes, and then they let you out. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it goes. So there's no one's ever in. I mean, jails are pretty much, I mean, they're there, but they're not like they are now with, just overrun and overcrowded. You're in and out within a couple weeks. You were innocent, but they prevented the crime. They prevented the murder, whatever. And maybe that'll be our future if we learn how to detect the future. um, so okay. I know I said spoilers, and I always say them because I hate ruining people. Like I want them to find out and read for themselves or watch for themselves. I can't believe this video is already 17 minutes. Um, so our first plot point is we find out the commissioner is, scoping out, telling the assistant what's going on, how it's all working and everything. And we find out that he is like the pieces of paper are printed onto pieces of, or like I don't know that like all the three low mega minds they all work together and come up with a date, time, and a majority rules. Who's gonna and then they like print these cards with the name of the person who's going to commit the crime, who they're going to commit it against, when, where, how, all these details. And so John, the commissioner, is showing his assistant how this is all working, and he pulls out a card and spoilers give you a second here, pulls out a card, and if you couldn't guess it, his name is on it, the commissioner. Begin plot. I didn't see it coming. Really, truly took me totally by surprise, and it was what? Oh, what? Oh man, what a surprise that was. What? It was good. So, let's see here. Oh my gosh, I have so much stuff on here, and this is okay. We gotta breeze through this. So, Anderson finds out that he's gonna go. I knew I wrote his name down here, but I don't know where it's at. Um, gonna go. He's gonna kill a guy named Kaplan or whatever. So he's, the commissioner. He knows how this program works. He runs away. He's getting ready to pack his bags. He dips out, and as he gets sacked, he's packing his bags, and he gets like someone barges in his house telling him, at pistol, gunpoint, you got to come with us. So he goes and meets this dude who he's never met in his entire life once before, and lo and behold, it was Kaplan. So he would have never met him before ever if it weren't for this card that he's seen. I mean, it just gets so like the more you think about it, the harder it gets to think about. And so he leaves there, is on the way home or on the way to prison because Kaplan doesn't want to die. So he sends the dude to the police the police, and then they're intercepted, and someone by the name of Fleming gets out and says, um, we're here to help you out, get out of here, and gives them stuff to go and leave. So the commissioner's scot free. Meanwhile, Ed has taken the position of commissioner himself and alerted the whole world that the commissioner is going to murder somebody. We need to apprehend him. Um, okay, they go into. Oh, I mean, he really goes into the pre-crime, and then you get the title of the book, which was explained. I don't know if I fully understand it myself still, but the reason they convicted John was because of the majority report, and that is when two. So you got three precogs. Precogs is what those humanoid people are called. Them monkeys. That's what monkeys. That's what they call them. These monkeys are called. And precog is the precogs between the three of them decide, and if two of them come to the same conclusion of murder in John's case, then that's the majority report. The minority report is the last precog who who has a differing version of the master. So that's where the title comes into play, which was I thought was really cool. The yeah. I'm not gonna say that one. Just it would, yeah. I'm not gonna spoil too much. I'm gonna hold back a little bit here because it's just such a short read. I mean, you can do it relatively quickly, so no sense, But um, it goes ham. I don't even know if I have time to explain all this. He just, I mean, in order to so John reasons that in order to so the minority report, so you got the majority report is that he kills somebody. So John goes in back into the police station and gets help to get in there and um, gets into the precog system and finds out what the minority report was. And that the minority report is that since John seen saw the card that's saying he was going to kill somebody, he would then go he would then not kill somebody because he's seen that card. That's so he's because he saw the card, it stopped him from making the committing the murder. And that was a minority report, which totally changed the majority report. Yes, very hard to follow along. I know. If you're following along from my explanation, kudos, kudos to you. But so and I'm trying to explain this in the order of events that we are explaining. I'm not trying to go to the ending explanation to explain it here. So uh Ca- um Ca- Kaplan. So yes, so I think John reasons that in the beginning he was going to kill and you didn't know why, and then so in the minority report he it's become he is going to kill, or he is not going to kill because it would jeopardize him. This is very convoluted. I am just getting more. I'm having a harder time understanding these notes. So Kaplan is the only one except the military. Um, Killing for an unjust system. So then I guess John reasons that maybe he will commit the murder anyways because he wants to save his pre-crime system. He invented pre-crime, and he doesn't want to see it go down the toilet and be turned, into like military rule or and completely shut down. So he reasons that and the Minority Report said he wasn't going to commit a crime, but for some reason majority had ruled that he will. So what's wild is they explain it at the end, but the majority, you got three people. The majority, there was the two people who um, uh, uh, made it a majority in time may not have had to agree with each other. So say the first action here, John was going to go kill Kaplan, this dude that he never met before. Okay, he was going to kill him. So in this 1 through 3, this first person's vision was that he was going to kill Kaplan somehow. The second version, this was a majority. The second um, minority was that not once he's seen that he was going to kill somebody on that card, he is no longer going to kill somebody. Well, the third majority is that he's reasoned after he knew all this other stuff. The third precog saw that in order to, no longer, now that he's not going to be selfish like in the Minority Report, not to save himself, but now he's going to be selfless and save his creation, save the pre-crime system. He is going to commit again. So that was the whole thing, is you got these two majority reports, and the Minority Report, trip kind of made things story worthy, I guess. So that's that in like an extreme nutshell. Um, and it, like I said, it just, because of that paradoxical nature, like once he learned of that, of his once he learned of that he's going to kill somebody, then it went to the minority, then the Minority Report canceled out the first majority report, and then it went to, well, then once he kind of like changed his ideas, the second report, which was a majority, canceled out the Minority Report. If that helps at all, I hope I explained that right. I can't imagine I did, but it's like the book does a decent job of explaining it after you. So if you've made it this far and you're like, what on earth is this dude talking about? Read the read the shorts, read the novelette. I mean, it was, it's short enough. It was so that was all that. Yeah, selfish versus not selfish. And then at the end, he pretty much he tells the now commissioner, Ed, that he wants to save the system. He's going to kill Kaplan because Kaplan's trying to minor second story details here, but Kaplan's trying to, or B side story or whatever. He's trying to overthrow the piece. It's just, now that you're in there this far enough, just twisting after twist after twist. There's cover ups, and there's a fake. I mean, it was all to get. Well, I don't know if it was cover ups, but it was just people were on side, the same side, and Kaplan was kind of like the grand orchestrating, trying to get rid of the pre-crime system. And since John doesn't want that, he is going to kill uh, Kaplan, as the Majority Report stated. And in order to keep pre-crime, he has to prove that the system works. So he's going to kill him, and then he guaranteed, he told Ed, the commissioner, and the commissioner tried to say, we'll give you a lighter sentence. So lo and behold, spoilers, he goes and commits the murder, kills Kaplan, proving that his system works, and uh, John is sent to, I think, the outer worlds or something. He's pretty much banned from Earth, and you find out that the only reason that this was so convoluted, the only reason the Minority Report happened, the Minority Report book happened, is because the commissioner of this pre-crime unit found his card, I mean, it doesn't happen with other criminals. Other criminals can't see that they're about to commit a crime and it changes the outcome. Because John saw that he was going to kill somebody when he didn't know he was going to, it changed, well, didn't quite change the outcome, changed it in a different way, but it made, this minority report, which it just made the plot pretty much. So, last little things. Holy, the shortest book I've read so far, short novelette book I've read so far has the longest review. Man. Let's see. Like this is like just in terms of the other Android, do androids dream of electric sheep? I much prefer this pre-crime in terms of thinking about the idea of pre-crime. I much prefer that idea over whatever the ideas were in that one. Do the androids dream of electric sheep? I mean, I don't know if the idea. I mean, this whole book was about this one idea. Um, uh, why doesn't it enjoy the idea more? Yeah. So I think the other thing is I wrote down. I can show you guys. Is it just kind of hit me weird, but it's, I don't know if you can see it. It's the word jibe, and I don't know if I've ever had to write this out, but I've always said jive. I don't jive, and apparently it's I don't jibe, Jibe instead of Jive, and jibe is to agree to of accord, like that's, they don't jibe. I've never done that. You just, I don't know if I've ever seen in the books that I've read that I remember. I don't know if I've ever seen that word written out. That's why it just utterly it caught me off guard. But yeah, the more you read, the more you know, or the more you find out. I guess that's what this whole journey is about. And don't think I have anything else to say. I think I've said quite a bit. I would I enjoy, like, I mean, that was a good read. That was a good short read. I would recommend it. I enjoyment level was relatively high. I will I could see myself rereading it. Uh, the like this it loses the rereadable value because of this, the because of the twists and the spoil. Once you find out what he does, but it was still convoluted enough where it'd be nice to go back a second time, and once you understand everything, then to reread it. And so I would, yeah, I'd say I enjoyed it. That was a good book. Now I'm gonna have to watch the movie, so give it a shot.